Hi, everybody. My name is Melinda Byrd, and I am teaching a RIA rug making class at Common Ground on the Hill this summer, and I'm hoping you'll join us. I've taught for years, I've taken classes for many more years, and I've volunteered for years, so it's an amazing experience. My experience goes back to when I was a baby. The year I was born, my grandparents started to import supplies for RIA rug making from Sweden. Now, the history of it goes back to the Viking days when it was a practical art for making covers for the bed, covers for being in the boat or the sleigh. And for centuries, it was a very active fiber art of Scandinavia and all the Nordic countries. After World War II, it resurged again as an art form and became really popular around the world, mostly the United States and Europe. And that was when my grandparents got involved. So I was kind of born into a RIA rug family. I know a lot about it because my grandparents taught me. Recently, I was trying to find information about 10 years ago, and there was almost nothing out there. So I did write a book because I had to write a book. I had a lot of information. These will be available at the Common Ground store if you're interested, but you don't need to have the book to be very successful in my class. So in the class, I'm going to bring backing sizes because it's not woven on a loom as they originally were, but the way I teach is to bring backings. I'll show you a few just to give you an idea about size. This is a Finnish backing, and they're becoming very popular now. This is a small Norwegian backing, very much like the ones I learned on. The rug behind me is on a backing similar to the one I just showed you. And actually all the rugs that are back there are similar. But I'm going to have a pile of backings, all different sizes and from different countries. You can pick whatever size you want. And it would cost according to the backing you pick and how much yarn you put on it, whether you make a lot of yarn, put a lot of yarn on it, or not quite so much. But you as students will design, and don't let that word scare you, because a scribble could be a design. A child's art piece can become a beautiful work of art. I'll show you one that has no pattern whatsoever, although it started out with a pattern. And you see how I call it Garden of Chaos, but even a small part of that could be a beautiful rug. And I want to show you the graph that I started to make when I was making it. And I didn't even put numbers on it. But what I did do is pick out colors. And this is what I'm going to have available for everybody, is a lot of yarn. In fact, I'm going to have about 240 different colors from Norway, some from the United States that my grandparents had made for them. And I have a lot of vintage yarn in bins where people can kind of go through it at a discount and save a lot of money on doing these projects. So what the students can do is pick out what kind of backing they want, what colors they want of all the different yarn, and start to prepare a design. And the design can be drawn on a graph or painted on a graph. The design can be drawn on paper and then just transferred onto the backing with a magic marker. And this is becoming very popular because there's no graph to worry about. And some people just are more comfortable doing that. In the first class, everybody will get oriented. By the last class, everybody will be nodding. And in between will be design development, figuring out how much yarn you want and what colors you want. And that can take some time, but we've got 5 whole days together, and it's a great way to learn. And I'll show you a few other little ones that I've made over the years for one reason or another, sort of an experimental. That one's draft. This one is drawn on the backing. And it's just a spectrum of colors. Now, the opposite of the spectrum of colors is absence of color, but not absence of beauty. This one drawn on the backing again, it's just a series of concentric stars. They could be circles, they could be squares, they could be flowers, it could be anything. But those are just a few that I grabbed to show you. I'd love to have you sign up to be in my class. We will learn from each other. One of the things I love about teaching is if everybody's doing something different, as opposed to doing a kit or something, everybody can learn from the other people in the classroom. And I'm pretty good at helping people. As my profession now, I help people around the United States and Canada, some in Europe, but mostly around here, by email, by phone call, through a newsletter. And people get started and they have major success when I'm not even looking over their shoulder. So think of how helpful it would be to have me looking over your shoulder and giving you some tips and pointers. Please sign up. Thank you.